Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, brothers and sisters. So, I'd like to continue what I have left because my friend came over to have a chat with me and reason why there was a stop, but it's okay. I have no problem with that because we can always continue on where we stop and continue. I have no problem with my friend coming over to have a chat with me because we are friends. I have to respect him coming over as my guest, but no issue. Let's see. I think we have left on this sentence. Okay, because the light is not as bright as when I was outside in the open, because this is inside the room. It's not natural light, so maybe I need a magnifying glass to help me see. Okay, I have a magnifying glass, so when the light is not bright enough, it's quite difficult to read the small writing. Okay. Allah revealed sentence 219. They ask you, Muhammad, with regard to strong drink and gambling. Say to them, both gambling and strong drink have a big sin, and some benefit to the people, but the sin is bigger than the benefit to the people. And they ask you, Muhammad, with regard to what they had spent out, meaning sedekah, and say, Muhammad, to them, and no, say, Muhammad, the extra that you don't require. This is Allah clarified His revelation so that you will think over. So, sedekah or spending out your money is only the money in excess of what you require. So in this revelation is telling that sedekah is not meant to burden anyone. If you don't have money in excess of what you need, then it is not required, because it says the money in excess of what require. So it's clear in this sentence that sedekah or spending out your money is not meant to cause a burden to you. It does not mean you have to owe money to perform the ibadat of sedekah. So it is an excess, money in excess of what you or we require. I think that is very lightening and thing to remember as well. So it's not forced to people who cannot afford. Okay, that complete. Let me read what is this small writing here. Okay, I think it's nothing interesting in the small writing. I think that complete my reading of the Koran. So, brothers and sisters, let now read Gospel of Barnabas. Let's see where we are left. Okay, the last bit is the angel carried Abraham near to the house of his father. So that was chapter 28, and we now should be reading chapter 29. It has a continuation. Let me look at the continuation. It's done. Okay, so I have chapter 29 and chapter 30 in front of me, but I think this morning I just read to you chapter 29, and we stop after we have complete chapter 29. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Then Philip said, "Great is the mercy of God upon whoever loves him. Tell us, O Master, how Abraham came to have the knowledge of God." Jesus answered, Having arrived near to the house of his father, Abraham feared to go into the house, so he removed himself some distance of the house and sat under a palm tree, where, being by himself, he said, "There must be a God who has life and power more than man, since he makes man, and man without God could not make man." Therefore, looking round upon the stars, the moon, and the sun, he thought they had been God, but after considering the variableness with their movement, he said, "It must be necessary. God does not move, and that cloud do not hide him, as they hide the planet, otherwise man should be reduced to nothing." Remaining thus in suspense, he heard himself called by name Ibrahim, and so turning round, not seeing anyone on the side, he said, "I'm sure I heard myself called by name Ibrahim." Then the other time, in similar manner, he heard himself called by name Ibrahim. He answered, "What calls me?" Then he heard the voice saying, "I am the angel of God, Gabriel." Ibrahim was filled with fear, but the angel comforted him, saying, "Do not fear, Ibrahim, for you are friend of God. When you broke in places the gods of man, you were chosen by God of the angel, prophets, and that you are written in the book of life." Then said Ibrahim, "What should I do to serve God of the angel and the holy prophets?" The angel answered, "Go to that fount and wash yourself, for God wishes to speak with you." Ibrahim answered, "How should I wash myself?" Then angel appeared to him as a beautiful youth and washed himself in the fount, saying, "Do the same as this, O Ibrahim." When Ibrahim had washed himself, the angel said, "Go up to that mountain, for God wishes to speak for you there." Ibrahim ascended the mountain as the angel had instructed him, and having sat down upon his knees, and said to himself, "When will the God of angels speak to me?" He heard himself called by gentle voice, "Ibrahim." Ibrahim answered him, "Who called me?" "I am God, O Ibrahim." Ibrahim, filled with fear, bent his face to earth, saying, "How shall your servant, who is dust and ashes, hearken to you?" Then said God, "Fear not, fear not, but raise up, for I have chosen you as my servant. I will bless you and make you increase into a great people. Therefore go forth from the house of your father and your kindred, came to dwell in the land of which I'll give you and to your seed." Abraham answered, "I will do everything, Lord, but guard me that no other God may harm me. Then God spoke, saying, I am God alone. There is none other God but me. I strike down and make whole. I slay and give my life. I slay and give my life and give life. I let down to hell and bring out therefore no one able to deliver himself out of my hand. Then God gave him the covenant of circumcision, and so our father Abraham knew God. And having said this, Jesus lifted his hand, saying, To you be honor and glory, O God, so be it. So that is very striking to me, how Abraham became a prophet for the first time. Abraham spoke to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. So I know only Moses spoke directly, but this is the first time I know that Abraham also spoke to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. So I think I am tempted to read chapter 30, see what it is. Jesus went to Jerusalem near to Synagogue, a feast of our nation. The scribes and Pharisees, having perceived this, took counsel to catch him in his walk. Whereupon there came to him a doctor, saying, Master, what must I do to have eternal life? Jesus answered, How is it written in the law? The Templar answered, saying, Love the Lord your God, your neighbor. You shall love your God above all things, with all your heart, your mind, your neighbor as yourself. Jesus answered, You have answered well. Therefore, and go you, so I say, you shall have eternal life. He said to him, And who is my neighbor? Jesus answered, lifting his eye, a man was going down from Jerusalem to go to Jericho, a city rebuilt under a curse. The man on the road was seized by robbers, wounded and stripped. Therefore they departed, leaving him half dead. It chanced that a priest passed by the place, and he, seeing the wounded man, passed on without greeting him. In like manner passed a Levite, without saying a word. It chanced that passed also a Samaritan, who, seeing the wounded man, was moved to compassion, and alighted from his horse, and took the wounded man and washed his wound with wine, anointed the man with ointment, binding up his wound for him, and comforting him, he set him upon his own horse. Upon having arrived in the evening at the inn, he gave him into the charge of the horse. And when he had risen on the morrow, he said, "Take care of this man, and I will pay you all." And having presented 4 gold pieces to the sick man for the horse, he said, "Be of good cheer, for I will speedily return and conduct you to my own house." "Tell me," said Jesus, "which of these was the neighbor?" The doctor answered. Then said Jesus, "Which of these was the neighbor?" The doctor answered, "He who showed mercy." Then Jesus said, "You have answered rightly. Therefore, go and do you likewise." The doctor departed in confusion. Okay. What is amazing to me, the word Samaritan. So this is the word in English mean something already. So that word is taken from the name of this person, Samaritan, who was a kind man who helped the people in trouble. So being kind is a good deed. So it's also the same teaching. Being kind to people in difficulty is a good deed. So mentioned also in the book of Revelation sent to Jesus. So with that, I end my talk on religion and belief today. I will continue again tomorrow. Let's put this page accordingly on top. Okay, thank you very much for listening.